So coming out of training camp, right, with they leaving Costa Mesa, what's your biggest question mark right now? Like coming out of Costa Mesa, because I know not everything is answered right now as far as
Yeah.
where you think some of the people on the team is going to be. So what's your biggest question mark right now?
I mean, besides quarterback, I guess. I mean, that's the obvious one, right? It's the question mark. So, I
Which
mean,
is a bad
besides
one.
yeah. Besides quarterback, I would say is the wide receiver position right now. Because Trey
Okay.
Tucker is having a lot of drops right now. Michael Gallup retired, which I thought Michael Gallup was a good security guy for this team to kind of really show maybe
100.
what they could do a little bit, and kind of just have some depth, right? Because if Gallup or Adams or somebody, hopefully they don't go down. You expect maybe Gallup to come in there and show some veteran presence, but he's gone. So the wide receiver position has a lot of holes. You see Raymel Keaton, he's having a good camp, but he's an
Right.
undrafted free agent. You don't know if that maybe is a steal though, because he ran like 2 routes to Tennessee, so we don't know what his actually route tree is. And
Okay.
I was
Okay.
talking on the radio to Vinny. I can't say his last name, but shout out to my dude Vinny at Las Vegas Review Journal. I hate mess up his
Is
last
it
name.
Bonsignor?
Bassignor, yeah,
Okay.
Vinny. Yeah, so
Okay.
Vinny was talking about how he looks a little bit like Jacoby Myers right now, so that's a good thing. But that's my other question mark besides like quarterback is like what they're going to do at the wide receiver position at this point. You know what I mean?
Right. I 100% am with that. I see, and shout out to my guy Turf. He talked about Ramel Keaton, and that was one of the guys that he, was all over. And he's making plays so far. So, it is a question mark to see what's going to go down if Trey Tucker continues to have these hands of stone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's going to go down? He's disappointing me right now. I'm not even going to lie, because I thought he was going to be able to build on his strong off season and come into this training camp and continue what he was doing. But the drops are hindering that, man. I mean, did you see a drop from him when you went? How did he look when you went?
Well, what I weighed, I mean, there wasn't that many completions. I'm not gonna lie to you. So,
Man, see,
but
you confirming something right now. I just talked about it, bro. This quarterback position, yeah, we're gonna spend a lot of time on that. It looked like,
yeah. But I think Tucker has still grown as a route runner. In college he didn't have any drops, right? I mean, he had a pretty good drop percentage in college. I think his junior year he didn't have one. I think he had one drop the whole year.
Interesting.
And then the next year I think he had like 5. So it wasn't a problem in college, but at times it's really showed up in the NFL. Like, I mean, there's literally 2 games last year. I mean, the Vikings and the Dolphins. If he makes a sideline catch, we might be talking totally different about Aiden O'Connell altogether. I don't think Aiden O'Connell might even have a competitor. You know what I mean? So if he makes those 2 catches on the sideline, you know what I mean? We're having a totally different conversation about the Raiders' season last year. How they look against the Dolphins. So there's some instances where he has to get better in some of those areas. You know what I mean? So like I said, it wasn't a thing in college, but it's a little bit of a thing right now in the NFL. And the thing is when you're trying to become a better route runner, you can get to your head a little bit, worrying about what you're trying to do with your routes and stuff like that. And you might have a little bit of issues of bringing the ball in a little bit. So I think that's something he's got to just work on and just get his concentration down.
Yeah, and I feel like he body catches more than anything. You know what I mean? Like, he continues to do that, and that can get you in trouble sometimes when you're a pure body catcher. So it might be because one of the followers asked, is it a mental thing? Might be a mental thing. Because you saying he didn't really struggle with that in college, so coming into it, I think it's just compounding. He's just dropping all these footballs right now.
Yeah. He showed really strong hands in college, right? And so yeah, it's interesting. It's like I said, it's a concentration thing, and hopefully it doesn't get into his head. You just got to stay positive. Hit that the jug machine after practice and put that work in and make sure he's catching those passes.
Yeah, because that's the deep threat. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we got DJ Turner, but you look at Trey Tucker, they're hoping Trey Tucker makes that step. You know what I mean? That's the threat right here to take the top off the defense. I will say right now, my biggest question mark, it's not like I'm super worried about it, but it's JPJ, right? Like, he hasn't been on the field at all. And I know our left side of the line ain't really practiced at all in training camp. Colton, I'm not really worried about because Colton been here. He's a veteran. You know what I mean? He kind of he can learn the playbook. He'll get his rhythm. Probably start off a little slow, but he'll get his rhythm. Now JPJ on the other hand, that's different. Now we coming into a situation where week 2, you playing one of the better defenses in the league. They got one of the better lines. You know what I mean? You playing Cleveland sometime after that. Like, these are teams you're gonna have to be prepared for. So he's worrying me that he's not out there. I mean, is there anything you've heard, anything you've seen about him to give us any news?
Yeah, no, I think, I mean, the thing is, it's not a serious injury. I really feel like they're just trying to keep it slow with him, but it's still concerning because, as a rookie, the NFL game is just so damn fast, right? So you're going from college to the NFL. So he doesn't really never really have full speed in camp, OTAs and mini camp. I mean,
Right.
it's OTAs and mini camp. It's just not really as full speed as training camp with pads on. So that's the thing. Like you're a little worried about that, about him getting used to the speed. But I still think that if he's healthy, man, I think it's going to help the run game, which is very important for this season for the offense to be successful. So he's a stud in the run game. I think he'll be able to do that day one. It's just more about like pass protection, things like that, figuring out, about his pad level and trying to figure out how to use his hands in the NFL and what moves guys use, because everything's going to be unique for him. And
Right.
that's the importance of him getting better is in getting those reps out there. And that's a little worrisome. It is him not getting those reps. Cole Miller, I'm not really worried about. I mean, he's a veteran.
Yeah.
Veterans really don't even need damn camp. So that's why Adams is gone. I mean, they don't need
Exactly.
it, right? So if you can get JPJ going, it's going to help a lot for sure.
Yeah, I like you said, I mean, Colton, veteran, but yeah, I know a lot of people's question mark is this running game. That's one. A lot of people are worried about how the running backs and the running game is going to look because we ain't got no Josh Jacobs. I understand that, but I think we have maybe enough in the room to kind of maybe help with the loss with Josh. But especially the O-line being better, especially with Colton, JPJ coming back, they're just going to look 100% better. But we on the running game. I mean, not a lot of people have a lot of confidence in Zamir White. Now, I see a lot of people are shaky on that. So where are you on Zamir in the running game?
Yeah, I think Zamir's gonna be good. I don't know if he'll be great, but I know he'll be good. I think he'll be a good running back in the NFL. He already showed he can get it done. He carried the Raiders offense in the Chiefs game, and he had a couple 100-yard games already last year. So
Right.
we know what he can do, right? It's not about having a kind of a mystery with him. He's been pretty consistent. One thing I really like about him, he's always falling forward. So you're not going to really see a lot of negative plays with him when he's running the football. No matter what, he's a big dude. He's always going to be falling forward, always going to be using his pads and running people over. So, that's the thing. I have a little bit of vision concerns, a little bit if he can run outside zone and wide zone. But I think if they mix it up and give him some inside zone runs, dual runs, which duo is kind of like opposite of inside zone.
Right.
But if he can get some of those runs going, I think he'll be fine. He can read those really well. He does a good job of being decisive in those. It's just more of the wide zones. He's just not really good at reading those, and he just never really has been. Didn't run it at Georgia, didn't do anything like that. And he was drafted by Josh McDaniels because Josh McDaniels ran a gap system, which is like guards pulling and that type of stuff. Tosses, those type of things. So yeah, he is a little bit concerning when it comes to outside zone, but I think with everything else, he'll be able to get it done. He'll be positive. I expect like a 4.4, 4.5 yards per carry type of thing. So I'm not really that low on him. It's just how they use him. But I think hopefully they'll be smart and they'll understand their personnel and how to use him and get the most out of him.
Yeah, I mean, so would it be out of the realm to say, because I think he can get 1,000. I think he can be 1,000-yard back for what the Raiders need him to do. Pure playing, I think he's going to be if you want to say the workhorse back, I think he's going to be the one getting the most carries. So at the end of the day, I think he can get 1,000 out of this season. Would that be out of the realm, you'd say?
It's not. That's what I'm saying. Like I think he's going to be pretty. I think he's going to be pretty serviceable, man. I think he's going to get the job done. I don't see anything really wrong with him that tells me that he can't be 1,000-yard back. Right? It's more, can he be like is he like be dominant? Is he be like get 1,500 yards? I mean, that's a different story, but I could definitely see him getting in the 1,100s or something like that, which could be good enough for this offense. And it's gonna be important for him to get going and be a good running back. But like I said, he falls forward. So, I mean, if you notice that last year, even the games where he wasn't that good, it was still like 4 yards a carry, right? It wasn't like it was a down type of thing. So it's the thing with him is, since he's always falling forward, I expect him to have some games and hit some holes where he's doing a good job there. Because I still think they're going to be a pretty damn good run blocking once JPJ and Colton Miller get back in there, mixed in with Parham. And then Mumford is a great run blocker. Really showed that last year. So there's going to be a lot of elements for them to kind of take off in the run game and be pretty good in that area.